everyone. Today I am putting this video together for your learning on how to put an offer together. This is for the properties that are listed on MLS. So you can directly use the link from here to Webforms or SkySlope. So as you can see, all of these listings, if I had to prepare an offer for any one of those, they have both the link of the Webforms and the SkySlopes. So for the purpose of today's example, I'll use sample information to put the property offer on 17 Rollingwood. So when we start the process, we need the MLS number. So we'll take the MLS number and click on Webforms. Today's video is covering how to use Webforms to prepare an offer. We'll do another video for SkySlope also. So when we click on Webforms, we will be taken to this page in Webform. The transaction name is already picked with the property address, which I usually complete with the city name. We have pre-created templates from our brokerage, so you can use these templates to help you get it faster for you. This is the template we'll be using because this is a freehold property, so we'll be using residential freehold buying template. The property is listed in Toronto Real Estate Board and it's a freehold property. We have to choose what type of property it is. MLS number is already there and we are on the co-op side of the transaction. When we create the transaction, it will actually take us to the next page where we will actually have to create the contacts here. So when we'll directly come here and then move to context. Come to this page, we will have to do the very first thing to go into contacts, and we have to add our contacts buyers as a contact in the transaction. So we'll create new transaction contacts. So if a transaction already happened and these buyers you represented before, they may be in the existing contact, but if you don't have, you'll have to create the new contact. You'll create buyers. So we'll create John buyer and we'll put an email address and we need their home address also to go on buyer representation agreement. And then we'll put our second client, Jane buyer, and then we'll put an email address for them and then their home address. Also, it's a good idea if you would like to put the number also, you could do that. And if you have to change and go back and put John's number there, you could go back and do that here also. So you will have easy access. So once the contact has been added, then we will move on to form section. These forms are all neatly organized in a sequence where you need them. We need RECO guide and form 371. These are brokerage document, internal document to be filled by client and sent to office. And these three documents, 1, 2, and 3 will be for buyer to complete and then send to listing brokerage for the offer. So we'll begin with the RECO guide. RECO guide has to be completed on the very last page. There is brokerage information and client information. So we'll go and fill out the information already because the template was there. So it picked up my name and the brokerage name already. I'll put today's date and buyer's name, John buyer, because this is something that you have to do manually. The system will not pick up. So once you do that, you save it and then move on to the next form, which is form 371. Most of the information here will be automatically filled. One thing you have to add is and sign here, and your name will go here. The contract amount of time, there's no minimum time, so you have to choose how long you'll be representing the client for. So for this purpose, let's put until end of May. You're working with residential property. This information is automatically filled, so there's nothing you have to change here unless you have different terms than already set in the in the template, and you'll put acknowledgement date. You would like them to acknowledge today. If they're acknowledging tomorrow, then you'll have a date stamp here rather. Once that is completed, then you'll move on to Form 801. Form 801 has, again, you'll have to put the and sign there and the time that you expect to send them an offer. So it's 10:15 right now. If you can say, let's have it all completed by say 11:30, you'll email the offer. So you'll put 11:30's time, which is today's date. And if you're giving them until say 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, you'll put tomorrow's date. This is irrevocability until the time that you'll give them, and then you'll click save here. These are totally depending on your offer, how long you want to give it to them to decide, and then you'll put the time accordingly. Then Form 100 is the offer form. We have to put the date of the contract right here, and we will put offer amount. Like if we want to put an offer for say 800,000 and say 5% is the deposit, we'll put 40,000 as a deposit, and the listing brokerage is, the deposit has to be made for listing brokerage name. So if listing brokerage, if you ever can't remember, you can always save here, go to the contacts, and then get the listing brokerage name right here. This is who the name the check is going to be made out to. So you will come here and put the draft here, payable to this name, and then this is all pre-filled information in the template. If you are including Schedule B, which usually it's part of the listing here, you come here and then there are attachment section here. You click and then you download. This is a schedule they have mentioned, so we will download here and then save it and then come back to the offer. It's because we have to later on add it into the offer. So completion date, let's suppose if it's for 2 months, you'll put 2 months time here. Irrevocability, because we had filled it on Form 801, it automatically picked up there. But let's double check if this is something was pre-filled or if we did it for 1050 over there too, because this has to match see, we have put 11:59 here. Somehow it is different here, so we have to make sure if the template has a different time, you have to match it with what you are telling them on Form 801 that irrevocability is. So if irrevocability is 11:59 p.m., you have to make it that way. So you can do it this way, which is for tomorrow, and then closing is in 2 months. This page will add chattels. So usually fridge and stoves, washer, dryer are chattels. So you'll include chattels here. If there are any fixed or excluded, you'll add there. If anything is rental, you will add there. Check with listing agent what's rental. If it's like furnace, AC, water softener, water heater, whatever is rental, you have to include it right here. HST in resale properties and residential side is included. The title search date is 2 weeks prior, usually 2 weeks prior to closing date. So we'll put we have 19th as closing, so 5th will be title search date. And single family home is the present use. If it's duplex or if it's a condo or commercial, you put it accordingly. This is all pre-printed forms, and over here there's nothing we have to add. And these are the conditions on Schedule A. It's important that you read the conditions on the templates. I'll briefly go through with you to have you understand that what these terms are. You can always add additional terms in here. The system will automatically add additional pages. If you add like more lines here, it will automatically increase the number of pages for you. So I'll briefly go through. The first line paragraph talks about how buyer pays plans to pay the listing brokerage by mean of check or wire, or it talks about the payment mode. Second one is the conditional upon the mortgage approval, satisfactory to buyer. The third paragraph is about inspection. The fourth one is that the buyer will have 2 more times to visit the property. Fourth one is seller's disclosure that they don't want the status of the basement. Next one is that the seller will give the property in broom swept condition. And the next one over is that the chattel and fixtures are in good working order. Paragraph is that to the best of seller's knowledge, the property is not stigmatized, and then seller's best knowledge, the property never had fire and water damage. Next one over is that the fixture which have been attached on the property will be there at the time of closing. The next one is that the real estate broker and brokers and salesperson named in the agreement have recommended the parties to obtain independent professional legal advice, because we are not equipped with those licenses. So it's always a good idea to include this paragraph and advise them to seek the legal advice about the tax and any legal advice that they want to take from any other independent party. And then the next paragraph talks about that there's the seller wants that during the time the seller owned the property and the building and the structure thereto has not been used for the growth of or the manufacture of illegal substance. And the next paragraph talks about the electronic signatures. And then the last paragraph is that there's no work order outstanding from any legal authorities. And if you want to add any additional terms at all regards to tenants or anything, you could always do it in addition to that. So that is that. Now we'll move on to the commission form, which is form 320. This is all pre-filled, so you will just double check it if the commission is listed accurately here, because you have to double check how much the listing brokerage is offering. You can find that from listing, and then make sure if it's 2% or 2.75 or 3% or whatever the case may be, you adjust it accordingly. The rest of it is automatically pre-filled. Now we have all 5 forms that are needed to be completed. So now we have completed them. This is now the time for us to have it signed by the buyer. To get that signed, you'll have to take it to either Authentisign, or if you have DigiSign through SkySlope. If you have a paid subscription for Authentisign, you can have it signed right here. You'll see this icon right here. If you don't see this icon, that means that you'll have to either buy from here Authentisign, or the second option is for you to download the forms here, literally download them and then upload into DigiSign and then have it completed over there. Or if you're using DocuSign or any other portal for signature, you can use that. Well, for the purpose of today's demonstration, we'll use Authentisign to complete it. So once we select all these forms, we'll click on the basket and click on Authentisign pen icon. This will take us to the portal, Authentisign portal, for us to complete the signature portion. So once we are at that, we have to add the participants of the transactions so that they can sign it, and we can pull them from transaction because we have added them into the transaction. So we have 2 buyers and myself. So the Authentisign system is pretty smart. For the most part, it will automatically pull the transaction signature. It will assign it automatically, but some areas will have to do it manually. And the very first one is the RICO guide. The system doesn't automatically assign it, so you'll have to manually do it by clicking on tools, and you have to drag the signature for all parties, and then you have to change it for the first buyer, and then the second buyer will come right here. Automatically bring the date also. Then you move on. See the next form, it automatically picked up the right places. Same for the rest of the form, but declaration of insurance has to be done by agent. It doesn't automatically does it, but it wants you to manually do it to make sure you have insurance. Rest of it is pretty much done on form 801 also. Agreement of purchase and sale is automatically done also. Now this form page 5 of APS automatically assign the signature on acknowledgement to begin with. This is not the right way. First the offer will go for signature, then the seller will sign it, complete the confirmation of acceptance, and then they'll acknowledge it, and then they'll send us for to acknowledge, and we'll acknowledge it to the last party and then send it back to them. Here also you need to put the signature, your signature. This is not automatically assigned, so you have to do 2 places your signature manually where system doesn't do it. Most of the places it automatically assigns it. In this place system assigns it, and if you are in multiple representation you can have it left there, but because right now ABC brokerage is not Serik Realty because it's not multiple representation, so we'll remove that. Now the next part is to add a schedule B. So schedule B we downloaded as I showed it to you, so I will add that manually onto the form. So we'll click on documents, and to add an external document we'll go upload, and then go to where the file is and bring it to the system. Now the system is asking who is it supposed to signed by or initialed by. If we assign it right here, the system may automatically allocate the initials for that. So this schedule B has to be completed by signer by John and Jane. That's pretty much it from our side. So when we say assign block, it automatically assigned it. Okay, so but if, as you see, this is blank, so the way to fill is we have to go to the first buyer's name, bring their name right here, then go to second buyer's name, and then not the signature, we have to bring their full name, and then we have to go back to all signature and then go to text box. If I were to go here and then just go to text box, then only John will see this check and sign. If we want to make sure everybody sees it, then we have to go to all signer, click here, and then just type and make it manually like that. Same thing we'll do seller. We have to pull it from listing side. We go click here, the seller name right here, and we'll have to go and see what the, say again, if you are here and if you have to go back and check who the sellers are. See, one thing I just noticed that because we pulled it from MLS, and the seller name came like this, Sam seller and Rose seller. And when it comes to signatures, if you notice that on the seller side, it is considering Sam seller and the Rose seller. There are 2 sellers, but system is considering them as 1 seller. The reason for that is that it was imported like that, so we have to go back and fix it. So if we ever start signing this way, we'll have to go back and fix it. And the best way to fix it, to go back to contacts and go see, as you can see, the Sam seller and Rose seller, this is how they are listed here. So the system is taking them as 1 person, so we have to delete the last person's name and correct it, delete their legal name from here and save them as a seller, and then add another contact to the transaction as seller. For that you don't have to add anything else except their name, so the system will correct it. So now we have Sam seller and Rose seller both, and now you will see if I go back to forms, it will also fix it right here, right? So it fixed for that. But now because we realize that afterwards And it has happened to me many times where in rush, when you end up overlooking that, so the signing that I started, now I'll have to redo it. So because it's not too much of a work, so I'll redo it, and then we can complete correctly. So again, we'll go and then add transaction, buyers from transaction. So those buyers and myself, if you wanna ever fix this is how you fix the order of the documents in which you get them signed. So I brought them back to the order that it was before. So we added those. We go to tools, very first page, very last page, we get the signatures. If you ever want to do all signatures at once, so this is how you do it. You'll bring it all of them here, and then move them right here. So that way you can do it all at once, just like that. And now this is right, this is correct. Here only I have to sign. And then if we go to this page, as I mentioned previously, we have to remove it. Acknowledgement has to be done at the very last step. This we have to remove because we're not in a multiple representation, as I was telling you before. So now we have to go to documents and upload the Schedule B as I was doing it before. So we'll bring it back right here. Again, we'll pick our buyer so it can assign it. So it has it right here. So now we'll go to tools again, and then first buyer's name, their full name right here. And then we'll go to our second buyer, full name here, and then go to all signer text box and click and sign here, and then put another checkbox right here, and then the seller name was Sam Seller and Rose Seller. So this is how you will do it: Sam Seller and Rose Seller. Another checkbox, we need to put the property address, 17 Rolling Wood Drive, Brampton. 17 Rolling Wood Drive, Brampton. To include the postal code L6Y4G5. So this will come here, and for dates, we can click on tools, all signers. If I put auto date, it will bring 3 dates. So we can put right like that. It will bring 3 dates on that. So now we have it completed. Whichever is the very first form, usually the document for signing is named for that. I usually change it to property address and then offer documents for the sign. Right. So once it's done, we send it off. So I'll walk you through. Still, it's now we have prepared the offer. Now we're sending it off to buyers for signature and ourselves. Stay tuned. I wanted to show you how it's looking after it's completed, and how to download separately those documents to send it to brokerage and then to the listing agent. We don't want to send all 5 forms to listing agent because we only have to send them 3. So just hold on. Let us complete the signing part, and then we'll move forward. We click next and send. So now it has been executed. So now if you see in the signing section, we were in contact section, forms, and now in the signing section you see 2 e-signing. One we started and we stopped in between because the seller name was not correct. So that one we can come and we can delete. So now we are only left with one, which is sent for signatures. So let us go and complete, and then come back for the rest of the process. By the way, before I leave, you'll see that this is still not authenticated, not approved. And if you click on individual, you only see original signs. So, but once it's completed, you will see that more icons will start showing there. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes to come back to show you how it looks after completion. Welcome back. So as you can see, if we are now in signing, we can see all three parties have completed. And when we come here, they're authenticated and approved. If you want one PDF, you can view the signed PDF here. But if you want individual documents, you can download the signed copy here. You will click on each form and then download it separately, and that will make 5 files for you. So what you do is basically RICO guide and 371, you email it to the office. The best practice is to do it immediately when you do it, do the very first offer. So what that will do is you will have these 2 documents out of the way, and any next property that you put offer with those clients, you only have to fill 3 forms, 801, 100 and 320, and the Schedule B. And then you can get away from submitting it afterwards. It makes the life so much easy for everyone involved. So you download these 5 forms to send 2 to the office and 3 to the brokerage with an email telling that you are sending an offer to purchase, and then communicate with them to make sure that they have received it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me, and I'll be happy to help. Thank you and good luck.